Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Shady dealings or business as usual? Some people are questioning the transparency of the Fargo City Commission after the passage of a controversial land deal. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Last night, a Fargo City Commissioner recommended the city release the audio from negotiations over the buyout of the Kinsler House. It was a recommendation that was shot down by the mayor, deputy mayor, and another city commissioner. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop looked into what's behind the secrecy of a deal that's costing taxpayers nearly $1 million.
You know, there are many people in the city of Fargo that want to know how we're conducting ourselves with these buyouts. And most of the buyouts are public. You know, we make these votes in public usually. For me, you know, this deal is done, and there's no more need for any type of secrecy. Now we need to be transparent with the people.
The question to release the audio from the city recently spending nearly $840,000 on buying and moving a home for flood protection came from Commissioner Tony Garrick. Some people were upset about the agreement, especially because there was no public vote. 3 out of 5 commissioners voted against releasing the audio.
If you release every executive session, an opposing side or attorney can get a quite kind of idea of how quickers work things and get some idea what type of advantage to take in a litigated issue. So the reason for executive session is to have frank discussion about the facts before you. I think the Kinslers have been beat up enough on this issue.
Garrick disagrees and says each negotiation is different.
So I don't think there's any kind of tactic or kind of, master art of the deal that we're concealing by not letting these records go. That's just not how it works.
The Attorney General's office confirms they are looking into an opinion of an alleged open meeting law violation. But according to the Fargo mayor, they are abiding the law and being transparent.
And if you want to protect the executive session in the future, we should not release every tape. I do not want to set that precedent. I say we're being very transparent. We've given you all the facts and figures to tell you all out there in front of you. What else would you need? Commissioner
Mike Williams says he voted against it because he feels the release of the tapes is premature and the AG's office should review it. In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
In regard to another executive session and public vote, the City Commission has agreed to purchase the land from Mid-America Steel, which is located in downtown Fargo. The city and Diversion Authority are paying about $21 million for the land. More resources are needed. It's a problem years in the making, and it's not going to get solved overnight. That was the focus of the Chamber of Commerce's monthly Eggs and Issues event, as 3 metro area police chiefs were invited to speak. Fargo Police Chief David Todd outlined the scope of the opioid drug crisis in the area. Moorhead Police Chief David Ebbinger talked about the need for newer facilities to help the problem. And West Fargo Police Chief Mike Wrighton discussed some consequences he sees coming down the line if marijuana is legalized in North Dakota.
Scare tactics don't work with this generation, so don't think because you got a wingman sitting there with Narcan that you're bulletproof. You are not.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, hear from a recovery organization in Moorhead about what it takes for this area to get the resources and treatment facilities needed. An overdose has claimed the life of another man. Today, officials say Travis Burgad, who was found dead in a bathroom back in March, died from a fentanyl overdose. Other drugs were also found in his system. Dr. William Masello tells NewsDakota.com that Burgad had a history of drug abuse and that he was recently released from a drug rehabilitation facility. Most of you probably know someone who is a victim of a scam or someone who has been contacted by a scammer. And many of you have reached out to us on our whistleblower hotline about the IRS scam. With figures we found show some 3,000 victims are out $14 million. And it's that scam and others like it that brought together the Better Business Bureau and the AARP to help educate you so you don't get taken. Some 200 people showed up for the event this morning, and the message they got was loud and clear. Be very careful with unsolicited emails and offers or calls threatening legal action or jail time. And to help protect you, the AARP is offering something called the Fraud Watch Network.
which allows people to go on and see what's happening in the neighborhood, what's happening in the state. And then they can also, if they get a grandparent scam call or an IRS scam call, or they get a phishing email or whatnot, to go online and report that themselves so they can warn their neighbors, their friends, and others about it.
To learn more about the Fraud Watch Network, head to valleynewslive.com and click on the Hot button. Just 2 hours until the Democratic presidential caucuses get underway in North Dakota. We are one of 6 states where voters head to the primaries and caucuses today. And although NBC News is projecting Hillary Clinton has clinched the Democratic nomination, Bernie Sanders insists superdelegates could still turn the tide in his favor. Tonight's open caucuses in North Dakota are to elect delegates to the June 18th state delegate selection meeting. Anyone who is a Democrat and a qualified voter can participate tonight. Among the voting locations, Ben Franklin Middle School and Carl Ben Eielson Middle School. We'll have full coverage and results tonight on Valley News Live, 10 at 10. A beautiful day out there, hardly a cloud in the sky right now. Let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for a look at first weather. Hutch?
Andrea, a beautiful day, hardly a cloud in the sky. No, I think you went over that, and the radar shows that there's just not much to worry about on this terrific Tuesday evening as temperatures have returned to seasonable averages across much of the area. The coolest weather in Lakes Country and in northwest Minnesota, where we still have some mid-60s, but quiet conditions are expected in Fargo this evening. We will cool quickly with the dry air in place, but it will be comfortable in the 60s with very light wind compared to yesterday. Grand Forks low 60s by 9 o'clock and 50s after that. Fergus Falls, get out and enjoy the sun through the 9 o'clock hour. We'll be in the 60s. Does look like we're really going to see some summer sizzle in the forecast. I'll have details on that, and we'll talk about some midweek thunderstorm chances, and they return on the weekend. All the details in your hour-by-hour forecast shortly.
It's not bad to be a broken record.
No, breaking records is fun to do.
Sunny, beautiful, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
As summer kicks in, pools across the valley are opening for the season. Today, Moorhead pools opened, and hundreds of swimmers enjoyed Fargo pools this past weekend. But before kids jump in, the Fargo Park District says it's important that parents remember to keep an eye on their swimmers and also remind kids of the pool rules to keep them safe.
Just have your kids know their strengths and weaknesses and then know where they're at in the pool. And our lifeguards will be there to assist.
Riverside Pool in Grand Forks opens tomorrow. Fargo Police and City Public Works employees were on a rescue mission today. They saved baby ducklings from the sewer along University Drive this afternoon. Someone called police after they saw a duck and her ducklings disappear after walking across the grass. Police used a net to catch the little fuzzy ducklings. Traffic was down to one lane for a few minutes during the mission.
They were almost able to jump out of that hole on their own, but there was a little ledge they couldn't get over. But when we had them in the carrier, they're still almost getting out of that. So,
police say this happens a few times a year. They add ducklings and other animals get caught in window wells too, and they suggest you give them a call if you have issues with wild critters trapped in window wells. The International Wolf Center in Ely, Minnesota is welcoming 2 new members. Meet Axel and Grayback, 2 Arctic wolf pups who traveled all the way from Canada to be a part of the center. Right now, the pups are getting used to their new home, and throughout the summer, they'll be gradually introduced to the pack. The goal is to have them join the others by early August. Staff at the Wolf Center are thrilled to add another wolf subspecies to the group.
It's beyond cool. I think it's an incredible opportunity for us to educate about wolves, and I could talk all day long, but if you look at a wolf puppy, you're going to learn and be curious and want to learn more.
Visitors can see the pups in person at the Wolf Center, where they'll be presented 4 times a day as part of the Wolf Pups program. Things are back to normal at the Cincinnati Zoo after a young boy tumbled into the gorilla exhibit and was dragged by a 450-pound gorilla. Today is the first time the enclosure is open to the public following that incident. The zoo installed a higher reinforced barrier to prevent it from happening again. The reopening comes a day after prosecutors said there will be no charges against the boy's mother. This is one of those days it would be great to, as the saying goes, bottle it, stash it, and uncork it in January. It's also one of those days the folks at Rib Fest are probably grateful to have. When you're setting up tents and stages and great big smokers and grills, it's nice to not have to battle our persistent prairie breezes. The ribs and music and party-like ambiance get rolling tomorrow at 11. The hours are 11 until 11 at the Fargo Dome parking lot. The Rib Fest concerts are set to crank up around 7:30 or so each night. The price of admission is $5. It'll cost you another $5 to park. The 4-day celebration of pork wraps up Saturday.